Tabs aren't evil. It's how people use them. So maybe dive into
Yeah,
that a
yeah,
bit.
man. I I stand by that statement. Yeah, a lot of people talk about like how learning tab is going to hurt your playing. Don't learn tab. You should be learning everything by ear, which is weird because we know that classical musicians like exist. And what do? They like read written music. They're literate. So certainly being literate in a different language isn't evil. it's just
Right.
it's just being able to read. And let me tell you, as a working musician, it is really helpful to be able to like write down your ideas and share them with another person. So if you know, if you aren't literate at all, you can't write these notes and give them to people. It's going to cost you more money at the recording studio, for instance, right? If I go into the studio, I can write notes for everyone, whether it's chords or whether it's little licks I might want in certain places or whatever. I can just give that all to them, and it's instant. It's an instantaneous transfer because they can just read it back, right? But
Right.
if I didn't read, then we would have to explain it at the studio. Or I'd have to record it on my phone beforehand and send it to them, and then they'd have to sit there and figure it out. It involves a middleman the other way. And even though that can be beautiful and a fun process, man, sometimes being able to do it instantly is great. So you might ask, where is the problem then? I think the problem is that people read tablature like a classical musician would read sheet. You look at it as if it's God. You're like, this is the one way. This is the only way. This is how it has to be done. And that's not the truth of our genre. Bluegrass isn't that way. A fiddle tune like Red Haired Boy is, like 400 years old. It's got so many fingerprints on it. So many people have played that thing, you know, that, this piece of music is older than the United States. So how do you, how could I possibly just write it down and have all of the detail and all of the important things included in there? I can't. But I can get you close and I can give that to you and you can go find all the mystery and you can discover all the things that thousands and thousands of people before you have discovered. But the tab isn't the end of the journey. And if you're looking at it like the tab is the end of the journey, you're hurting yourself.
All right. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. And I think I'm someone who's guilty of that. Of course, I rely on tabs heavily when learning songs, but I do understand what you're saying because I've learned songs where it's like I've learned it to the point where I've performed them and it's like I know it like the back of my hand, and that's going past the point of the tab, right, and getting into like the flow and really like feeling out the song for yourself, right? So I that resonates with me. I would agree. That makes sense.
Think about this one. You're talking about the in control tab. Um, so Billy's at this guitar shop in Nashville where they do all these demos, right? And he's basically selling instruments. They have these artists come in and they're like, "Hey, play these things, and we'll make little videos and we'll sell the instrument," right? And when you do that gig, you got to play, you know, 10 different instruments or something, and you record a little audio snippet for each one. And I don't think Billy was thinking particularly hard when he started playing the chords to In Control. In Control is a big song. It's a whole band kind of thing. It's not even a Billy Strings song. He's just playing the changes from a tune and improvising around it and making stuff up.
That's
So
crazy.
if I write all that down and then you copy it, what you're copying is you're copying a dude in the moment who's like, ah, crap, I got to play something. What am I going to play? He randomly picked that. He randomly picked a bunch of embellishments. Maybe not randomly, his musicality came out. It's an artistic process, but you're reading that, trying to be like, all right, step here, move my hand here. Like you're trying to like wear Billy Strings like a suit and do everything exactly like he did, but it's just a random moment in time, right? Instead, you could look at that tab and you could say like, oh, this part's interesting. Let's take this idea. Can I use that in another song? Can I use it for something else? Right? Instead of just reciting it, I'm trying to learn vocabulary, right? I'm trying to use something again.
Jeez, eh? All right. Well, I definitely learned In Control note for note.